Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here. I'm at the Leadbetter Indoor Academy, Bangkok, and today I'm talking about sequencing and kind of the body movement, the pivot of the body, and how it is so important to playing consistent golf. I'm doing a series on the A-swing at the minute, and the A-swing is designed to aid synchronization and aid the use of the pivot. But if you're not using the A-swing, these concepts they apply to any golf swing, and they tend to be the foundation of hitting good shots, consistent shots. So the pivot, and we want the body controlling the arms and not the other way around, but a good pivot, we're going to get in a nice stable position. We're then going to turn into the backswing. You'll notice the shoulders are turning a lot more than the hips, and we're certainly not sliding the hips. What this does is create a nice coil. So if you can get in the top of the backswing where your back is pointing at the target, you should feel a nice stretch across the torso. This is going to create some nice potential energy and allow us to create some good club head speed in the downswing. So by getting in this position, we're preparing ourselves to make a good downswing. But we need to get into a transition phase before we actually uncoil in the downswing and utilize this position. And this is a position that is sometimes missed. The transition is so key, and I see in a lot of swings, so people think about turning in the backswing and then turning at the target, whereas what I want you to feel is you turn in the backswing, you then shift your weight a fraction. You're going to certainly keep the heel and the right heel on the floor, and you're still going to feel like there's quite a bit of weight in that right heel, but we're feeling a little bit of a nudge. I like to think of it as a figure of 8. So we turn away from the target, but then rather than being like a 0 and just turning straight away, we do have this phase. So if I use my lovely yellow grip here, we're going to feel when we're in the top of the backswing, we do shift a little bit in this direction that my grip is currently in. That shift then allows us to utilize the body, turn aggressively in the downswing, and not only is that going to create a nice bit of club head speed, it's also going to create it in a very repeatable fashion. So again, don't forget about this figure of 8, this transition move, as it's the transition move that's going to help us shallow the club. Again, something that's very important in the golf swing, and it's going to allow us to turn our body hard, like I say, create a good amount of club head speed, but more importantly, in a consistent manner. So that is how to utilize the pivot. Let's get on to synchronization. So synchronization is also, it's so key in making a repeatable swing. What we want is the body controlling the arms, but they have to work together in order to create a consistent movement. I see it too often. People think of them as separate entities, and you can make the correct movements with the arm and you can make the correct pivot with the body, but as they're not happening at the same rate, one will start interfering with the other. So although it might look like you've got a massive swing floor, it's actually due to the fact they're not working together rather than you don't understand the positions you're trying to get into. One of the best examples I can give, and something I see in my students, or my students at the beginning, something that I will eradicate once they start having lessons, is an over-rotation of the body too early. And what that tends to do is mean the arms are now don't know what to do. They either get pulled inside, which can cause massive trouble, and make you end up being too far in and too low and flat, or what happens a lot of the time is the arms then pull away independently to try and save the backswing. And this independent swing, this independent movement of the arms, although it's trying to help, it's going to be very hard to control. And again, it's not the arms that are the problem, and it's not necessarily the actual way that you're turning the body, it's just the fact that they haven't happened together. In some of David's earlier work, he talks about having the elbows pointing at the hip joints through the swing. I quite like that as an analogy because it gets you feeling like you have to be more in sync. It stops this over rotation at the beginning, and it can stop you also in the downswing if you're that person that gets the club stuck way in behind because you've made a really aggressive movement, but the arms have got stuck. They're not working with the body. So synchronization is so important. Really trying to feel like the body is working on like an inner arc, and the hands and the club are working on an outer arc. Again, a nice way of trying to create a swing where they're all working together. This is so important. It can really transform your game. And I don't mind if you're not doing A swing. The A swing is designed to really maximize this and make this synchronization as easy as we can. But if you're not using the A swing, you've got to try and somehow create this synchronization, because it's going to be far more important than just positioning of the arms or overall pivot of the body. Get your sync right, you're going to play some great golf. I hope this helps. Get some comments down below. Are you somebody that's been struggling with this? Are you somebody that hasn't considered this? I'd love to hear what you've got to say. I hope to catch you soon.